An Indian origin truck driver, Jaskirat Singh Sidhu, who caused a deadly bus crash, lost the bid in Canada against his deportation to India. A judge dismissed applications from the truck driver who pleaded guilty to the dangerous driving charges. Sidhu lost his bid to stay in Canada. The crash killed 16 people and injured 13 others. He was sentenced to 8 years in prison and was employed for less than a month before the crash. The crash had taken place on the 6th of April in 2018 at the intersection of the Saskatchewan and AN Highway 35 and Saskatchewan Highway 335 near Armley. And meanwhile, Indian origin truck driver has been reported. And it is very interesting to note that Canada has so far taken no action against designated terrorist Gurpatwant Singh Pannu, despite his several threats to India and Indian diplomats staying abroad. Pannu, meanwhile, has most recently threatened to attack the Indian Parliament, and before this he threatened to blow up Air India back in November, and also threatened an attack on India during its World Cup match. Interestingly, Canada stays silent even after all these threats. With us on the broadcast is my colleague Rushali Kadam. Rushali, over to you for more details.
We have seen this Indian origin truck driver Jaskirat Singh Sidhu, who caused a deadly harmful a bus crash which has taken place. It's an Indian origin driver who has lost his control and crashed in which almost 16 people have lost their lives. It has happened in Canada, and what we are learning is that judge dismissed the application from the truck driver who pleaded for guilty to the, he has done a rash driving which caused almost 16 people who have lost their life and almost 30 who are injured. Some of them are seriously injured. Some of them are having minor injuries as well. Currently, they are taking, they are under the observation in the hospital in the near vicinity. After this incident, the people around have come forward to help them and admitted them in the hospital. But still, 13 are injured in this entire case. And after which now the Sidhu has sentenced 8 years in prison, and he was employed for less than 1 month before the crash. So basically, his driving was very much rash, and after which we are learning that because he has lost the control of that is at this point of time, court has not taken into
Rushali, there seems to be a connectivity issue at your end. Meanwhile, joining us on the broadcast is Mr. Sanjeev Srivastav, International Affairs expert. Sir, very good morning and thank you for joining us on NewsX. We're of course discussing the fact that Canada has decided to deport an Indian origin truck driver who did plead guilty to dangerous driving that led to the loss of 16 lives. He was a truck driver, but at the same time, Canada harbors Khalistani terrorists on its soil. Pannu is roaming scot-free. In fact, he has threatened to blow up India's parliament. He's threatened to blow up Air India, and he's also threatened attack during our World Cup. Amid all of this, do you think it is time for Canada to take action, or and the world also to hold Canada accountable?
That's where the problem lies. Actually, Canada, despite India's several requests, they have not taken any proper action against those extremist and terrorist elements. Obviously, they are residing in Canadian territory. And on one hand, when they are in the process of deporting this truck driver who without any intention, led his truck to some very serious accident, and that caused several loss of lives. But this truck driver is having a very good behavior. He pleaded guilty before the court, and many of the family members of the victims of this truck incident, they are also of the view that behavior of this truck driver is very good. He is going a deep remorse about such incident, and he has, pleaded guilty already, and now I think nobody wants to see him inside the prison. That is sure, and that shows the very good behavior shown by this truck driver. And the entire accident was without any intention. It was just merely an accident, which is quite human. But but where on the other hand, if you look at the intentions of Gurpatwant Singh Pannu, he wants to target various locations in India, including Indian Parliament, and also he had threatened to blow up another Air India plane, the kind of incident which Babbar Khalsa carried out way back in 1985, the Kanishka bombing, and several other such threats being issued by Gurpatwant Singh Pannu and his terrorist organization Sikh for Justice. And Canada is not taking any proper action. Rather, Canada should have taken proper action, and Canada should, hand him over to India so that he could be tried for the various kind of threats and challenges which is posing to the Indian state and Indians there in Canada. So I think that shows their double standards. On one side, they are going to target somebody who is having a very good behavior. On the other side, a person who is having clearly a terrorist and extremist intentions, and he wants to carry out various terrorist activities against India, issuing threats to India, and Canada is not taking any proper action. So this shows double standards of Canada and Canadian authorities, the Trudeau administration, and that's where exactly the problem lies. And unless until Canada rectifies this kind of double practices, I think we cannot expect a very good India-Canada relationship in times ahead. And also, let me say that when we say, when a democratic country says that we have to come together to fight against terrorism and extremism, that's kind of a resolve. And that kind of understanding gets also weakened because of this kind of a double standard, which are being clearly practiced by Canada at this point of time.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.